those
when
things.
we met, you were with McConaughey.
Well, that was a rare and exciting one-off.
For both of us.
For all of us, I would hope.
Yeah,
Were
yeah,
you as
yeah.
excited to meet him as I was?
He's
the
just
best.
great.
Oh my God. So I had him on the show twice. I had also met him one time at a camping event, but briefly. I don't really know him, but I was in Austin. I was there for work and then I had a few days off. And then you and I are DMing and I decide, well, I'm going to see where he's playing because you had just done LA and I had missed it and I felt bad. And then lo and behold, you're performing in
Austin,
you. While I'm in Austin.
Yeah.
So then I hit you up and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be in Austin. I want to come see your show. You're like, great. How many tickets? I'm like, bro, I think it's just me. Like, I was so embarrassed to go, like, I think I'm going to be solo at your show. But then I don't know why I was like, I'm going to fucking ask Matthew McConaughey. He lives in Austin.
Yeah.
We got along great on the podcast.
Yeah.
So I kind of cold called McConaughey through emails, through his publicist and our booker of the show.
Yeah.
And then we start emailing and I invite him to your show. He doesn't know what I'm inviting him to. And he sends me an email and it's got the green light logo. He gave me a green light. Like, let's do this. Let's go to the show. So it's basically a blind
Awesome.
He said, yeah.
That's so awesome. What a
And it
guy.
was basically a blind date with McConaughey, but this really funny thing happened, really quickly. So I had invited him, which is kind of like the alpha move. I asked him out.
Yeah.
But then he was like, where are you staying? I'm going to pick you up. What time? I'll be at
Really
7.
good.
seven.
Really good.
Really good.
You're at Four Seasons. I'll be there at 7 o'clock. Pick you up. I'll be in a white Lincoln Navigator. Look for me. And I'm like, okay, wow.
Really good impression.
Hold on, I'll get better as I get into it. So I'm like, oh wow, he's picking me
He's
up.
alphaing you now.
And then he goes, so what are these tickets? What do you got set up? Because we can do a suite if you want. And I'm like, look, whatever thing you want to do, like if that sounds better than probably what I'm going to get, like let's do that, right? So he's like, okay, great, I'll pick you up. So now he's got his own tickets for us. It started with me having tickets. And so it's such a dream come true. I come down into the lobby of the Four Seasons and I walk out and sure enough there's a white Lincoln Navigator and he's outside. He's leaning against the car. He's talking to valet. He's like, who's coming through here? Okay, we got sorority week coming up. We got the moms here. He's holding court.
Wow.
Fucking total McConaughey
awesome.
style. Like totally living up to my dream of what he is. He's just so happy, so fucking comfortable in his own skin. We get in the car. Again, we don't know each other all that well.
Yeah.
We're on the way there, and he goes, I'm excited to go here. I designed this arena we're going to. Built this place. I put together some private equity money, and we got the state of Texas involved, and we built this thing, and it's gorgeous. I haven't been. And I'm like,
I haven't been.
hold on a second. I'm like,
Perfect.
I asked you out, but now you picked me up. Now we're going to say, also, you designed the arena we're going to. Like, and he kept that. What's so cool is he kept that quiet all the way till we were on the way there. Like when I first, if it was me and McConaughey saying, I'd be like, yeah, let's go. I designed that place.
Let's go to my arena.
Yeah.
Come to my arena.
Yeah, it's at my arena. I knew that because I designed the place. Like you would have heard about that long before you even met me. So like, this is coming out on the car ride. I'm like, my God, this guy fucking built this arena. We get there. The whole staff's so excited that we're there. He has built this place he's never been.
Yeah.
So, and we go up to this suite and he goes, oh, this is great. This is great. What's the number one problem when you're watching a game? You're watching some kind of event, right? Bars back here. Action's up here. So what do you want? Look at this. There's a fucking bar in the seats. That was McConaughey's invention. I'm like, this guy is so fucking cool.
He's one of the few people that guys and girls equally have a crush on for different reasons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so like, I want to just feel like he feels for a day. I want to walk around.
I had
this.
no clue you guys weren't like besties.
Oh, no. So you're going to like the end of the story that you don't know about, which is
It's great.
car ride there is fine. It's good. It's a good first date car ride. But then, and this was tactically a blunder, which is now we're just watching stand up. Yeah. We can't really talk.
Yeah.
So now we're just sitting next to each other. We don't really know each other. And we ended up having a great time. You were great. And then you were fucking, what was a relief to me is like, he loved you.
Oh, good.
Yeah. He loved you. You got into a certain thing about talking to your wife, and we were both like, oh. That's exactly what it's like. And so we had a really fun moment. Yeah. And then what was cool about him was I know I need to go say hi to you. It would be rude if I don't go say hi to you.
Sure.
But also, I don't know his baseline, like how much he wants to be mobbed.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm going to have to tell him at some point, we got to stick around. I got to go say hi to Andrew. But he goes, you probably want to say hi to your buddy. Should we go backstage? And I'm like, oh my God, this guy's a mensch. Like he offered. So I'm like, yeah. So then we go down, we hang out with all you guys. That's great. You just start interviewing him.
Immediately.
What are your political aspirations? Like, I would have never.
That is exactly what happened.
Yeah, right.
That is exactly.
All of a sudden, he's like got him talking about his political aspirations. I'm like, I would have never asked that on a first date, but now I'm learning this because Schulz
I'm so
went
bad
right
at small talk tactics. I'm so painfully
No, I was
bad at
actually
it.
thinking, honest to God.
So I have to ask the questions I'm really curious about because then it comes across more authentic and pure to me.
And you are super curious if he'll run for office.
He mentioned it. He was talking about it.
Yeah, we would actually, I think, as a population, love that.
I think
as a
Austin votes for him like in a heartbeat.
Oh my God, yes. And that'll pay off here
And
in
we
a
thought the
second.
Uvalde
Okay.
speech at the beginning.
So
anyway.
So we're doing that. You're pretty much on a date with him now. Now you have talked to him way more than I've talked to him.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And then a bunch of people come in, right? Like it's just
we held the room for you two because I was like, I don't want them to be. I'm thinking I'm protecting you guys. I'm like, okay, let's just hang for a little bit. I don't want people to come in and then
you don't want him to have to take 55
I don't
photographs.
have to take 55 photographs.
Whether that was an issue or not, who knows? But once a bunch of people got in there, I thought, well, he was so cool. He came, he hung for a while. He answered all your questions.
Yeah, all of them. I was grilling him.
Yeah, you were. He was in the hot seat. 1987. Is this legend or is this real? You were like Larry King all of a sudden.
I love it.
So we're leaving there, and I'm like, that was a lot of fun. Also, we didn't really connect. There was no magic moment. We didn't like get into a good groove of a conversation. So I'm like, it's a little bittersweet. We're leaving. We're walking in the car, and all of a sudden he goes, "You want to go steak?" And I go, fuck yes, let's get all the steaks. Let's get so many steaks. Also, there's nothing I'd like to do more than eat a fucking steak.
McConaughey eat a steak and I'm into.
Yeah, he didn't say like, are you hungry? Or it was like, we could eat if you're up for a steak.
Yeah.
So I was like, you want to go steak? And I'm like, yes, let's fucking get a steak. So we get in the car. It's like, Domingo, where should we go to get a steak? What's the best place right now? I forget the name of the place. It is phenomenal. And Domingo's like, well, you got to go here. They close at 10:30, whatever it was. We had 5 minutes. He goes, oh man, let's see if he starts calling. And I go, I think we'll probably be fine. If you show up here, sure enough, we walk in, the host almost goes into like anaphylactic shock. He is being with McConaughey and Austin's like being with Mickey Mouse in Disneyland. He is their Mickey Mouse, right? So they're all so excited he's there. It's fun to watch. And he's like, can we still eat? And she's like, oh yeah, anywhere you want to sit. He's like, oh God, let's sit back there. We're walking. He goes, man, you like ribeye? I go, yeah, I love ribeye. It's my favorite. He goes, good. You like skirt steak? I go, yeah, I like skirt steak. He goes, good. Good. You like, what was the vegetable? He goes, you like salad? I'm like, yeah, I love salad. He goes, great. So he's just ordered for us. He goes, okay, here's what we're going to have. And he threw down the whole order. And I was like, yeah, I'm really on a date with him. He just ordered for me. I got to say whether I liked it or not, but I was not allowed to see a menu. And then we sat down. The food was incredible. And we had like a full 2-hour, like fell in love.
Really?
Awesome. Yeah, it was so much fun. And it was kind of a perfect night. If you get a chance, go on a date with Matthew McConaughey and Austin.
Did you get a second date or?
So what then paralleled this perfectly was then I also had Woody Harrelson on the show. And he and I got along really well too. And I had both their emails. So I sent the two of them an email saying, you guys are fucked. I'm joining this. I am joining this.
Woody's awesome.
Whether you like it or not. And they were both very receptive to it. So hopefully they'll be
unrelated.
Like
I think Woody's maybe the most underrated actor in Hollywood in my entire lifetime.
He is so fucking good.
Comedy and
so
drama,
different.
Like, it's hard to do both at that level. And
He's the original Walton Goggins. Do you guys like Walton Goggins? He's my new obsession.
Who's Walton Goggins?
Righteous Gemstones, he's Uncle Baby Billy. And then
not watched
Fallout,
Righteous.
he's the noseless cowboy.
Oh, he's phenomenal in Fallout.
He's phenomenal. He's also even, and I say this as someone who worships Danny McBride, he's even funnier than Danny McBride on Righteous Gemstones.
okay.
He was
I really
also in
watched it.
Vice Principals with Danny.
I always hear about this show. I have to watch
yeah.
it.
He's at the same time the best dramatic and best comedian alive right now.
That Fallout show is phenomenal.
And look at him.
Yeah, look
He's so fucking interesting looking.
Yeah.
at the mask.
The mask.
Remember?
I do. Maybe he'll tackle that. Also, I follow him on Instagram, and he's always like, I can't pull off a flowy button up. I don't know if you guys can, where you do a button up
No chance.
and you got it button.
I'm sure you can pull it off.
No, I cannot do it. I don't know what's happening with my body type.
But you're too big for that. Like, it's like you're bragging.
I look stupid if
Yeah,
I'm in
because
a.
you're jacked.
Okay,
You need
thank
you
you.
have so many muscles. Dude, your body is so sculpted and beautiful.
Oh my God, tell me more about
I'm
that.
just saying.
What's your
there's no
favorite
way
part of
it
my
could
body?
contain
More
probably
subtle.
chest.
More subtle.
Yeah, but the thighs are pretty good too.
Well, listen, I
Too
was.
direct when you flirt.
Oh, sorry.
It's
Okay,
great.
I gotta get better at that. What are your political aspirations? I didn't. Did I open with that?
Yes.
It was pretty
I would
quick.
do that.
It was a
Oh,
couple of
God.
it was a couple softballs. Then announce your candidacy
What is-
here
what
live
you
on
do
the-
The ice. You broke
Okay.
the ice for their date.
Oh yeah, maybe I did do that.
It was great because,
So-
again, I had all this anxiety about like how he's going to do in this situation. Again, I don't know what his comfort level is. Does he want to be around a lot of people? Does he not want to be? I don't know. I don't even know the guy. I'm on a blind date with him.
How quick? Like when you're on a blind date with a guy,
Yeah.
how how quickly will you share your sense of humor? Are you like assessing them, or are you just going?
This is very name droppery, and I'm owning that, but it's really perfectly related to your question, which is, I interview all these people, and I get along with a ton of them really well. You guys must deal with this. You're like, well, who of these people am I going to maybe try to have a friendship with? I also have 2 kids and I'm busy. Like, who's got time for this or that? But like, you're constantly meeting people. You're like, yeah, I would love to be friends with this person. So recently, Jack Black was on.
Yeah.
He and I got along so fucking well. We're neighbors and we're DMing. And then I'm like, let's ask him if he wants to get a hamburger, maybe, right? So I asked him, you want to get a hamburger? He's like, yeah, let's get a hamburger. So we decide where we're going to go. And we had scheduled it like
Does sound less cool than steak.
Yeah, you should have said.
big time.
Steak and salad is.
But he was saying
it's
hamburguese
endearing.
a lot,
Wanna
which
get
is
a
very
ham-
Jack
okay.
Black.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
He's like, let's get a classic hamburguese at Yucca's Mexican restaurant. But it was like 2 weeks out we made this plan. So I put it in my calendar. And then day of, we're supposed to have lunch at noon. Day of, at probably 9 a.m., I send him a DM on Instagram that just goes like, hey, confirming we're meeting at noon at Yucca's. So noon comes along and I look and I have no response from him for like 3 hours. And I'm like, I'm going up to Yucca's. He's not going to be there. Like, I'm going to get stood up. So I'm at Yucca's like 10 minutes early. I feel awkward. So I go into a liquor store and walk in circles for a while. Then I come back out. Then I'm like, okay, I can sit in front of Yucca's. I feel like I'm on a date with a woman, to be honest with you. I'm like, I got to look cool when he walks up. 4 seconds away from grabbing a bottle of Boone's Farm.
Why'd you start drinking again? Well, Jack Black was late for a hamburguese.
I had no choice. What was I going to remain sober? So anyways, I go back out. Now I'm sitting in front of Yucca's by myself, and now I'm feeling really stupid. And I'm also thinking, okay, well, not only is he not coming, he will eventually read that DM in like 3 days, feel really guilty and apologize. What's going to be my move then? I'm already planning that out, right?
Yeah.
And I decide in that moment, I'm going to say, I cried for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And then I even go to like, my wife's going to ask, how was your lunch with Jack Black? And I'm going to have to admit I got stood up. So I'm like already planning who I have to tell I got stood up to. And all of a sudden I feel someone grab my thing and it's Jack Black and he's in his like military hat. And he's like, let's go, we're going over here. And all of a sudden we leave Yucca's and he takes me to another restaurant and we sit down there and I go, I thought you weren't going to show up. He goes, I knew you weren't going to show up. I told my wife when I was leaving, he's not going to show up. And when he sends me an apology text, I'm going to tell him, too bad. That was your one chance. And I go, oh, I went even further. I was making up excuses to people that knew I was having lunch with you. And so our first 10 minutes was owning the fact that we were both
awesome.
certain we were
That's
going to
awesome.
get stood up and that we had crafted text messages to each other and other people we told. And I was like, this is awesome. You're Jack Black and you're insecure, and I'm should not be insecure, and we're both terribly insecure. We were going to get stood up on this date,
Dude, it's so-
and now it's heaven.
That DM that morning, as you're telling me this story, I'm going through
I'm
my
panicking.
emotions.
Yeah.
And the day of, you're like, he's not going to show. I know exactly what you're thinking.
He's Jack Black.
He's got things to do. As if
He's
you
gonna
don't
forget. He's so artistic. He's probably terrible with his schedule.
build up all the justifications for why he can't.
He wears tie dye. Those people are good at.
He's painting.
scheduling.
Of course, he's not going to meet
Why
with me.
didn't he think you were going to show? Since you sent the message.
Well, that's what's adorable is like even Jack Black thinks he's going to get stood up. We all think we're.
So,
Except for probably McConaughey. McConaughey knew I was going to be there
He
on
knew you
time.
wanted steak.
Yeah.
I think that's part of what's so alluring about him is one thing that makes me feel better about being insecure. There's been some very powerful people here, and I'll see things where I'm like, oh, they were being insecure. And you realize everybody feels that. Yeah. And then you see a guy like McConaughey who just seems comfortable in his own skin.
Yeah.
And that's such a superpower that you're like, wow, that guy's fucking awesome. I want to be like that guy.
Yes. It's very enviable.
Yeah.
His comfort level in his own skin.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
God.